Hello, and a very warm, sincere welcome to you.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here.
I am your host, and I want to welcome you to our channel, Handsome Trader.
Really looking forward to our discussion today.
It is truly a pleasure to have you with us. We have a very special deep dive prepared for you today. It's one that I think goes right to the heart of why so many of us succeed and, well, why so many of us struggle in the financial markets.
That's for sure. It's a universal problem.
But before we open that door and begin this journey together, I would like to invite you, with all my heart, to please press that like button.
It really does help.
Share this deep dive with a friend, maybe a fellow trader who you know might be struggling, and please subscribe to support the channel.
We appreciate every single one of you.
Your support, it just really helps us bring this kind of content to you. So, today, we are going to solve a mystery.
A big one.
It's a central mystery that plagues almost every single person who has ever tried to trade the markets, especially in the US or in Europe.
Oh, I know this feeling all too well.
You know the one. I think we all do. You spend months studying, right? You read the books, you watch the videos.
We'll do all the homework.
You learn a lesson, you take a really painful loss, and you write in your journal in these big, bold letters.
I will never do this again.
Exactly. You promise yourself, you swear it. And then what happens 2 weeks later?
You make the exact same mistake.
The exact same mistake. It's the cycle that I think breaks most traders.
It is. It's that feeling of being trapped in a loop, isn't it? Just running in a hamster wheel.
Completely. It feels like you're just fighting yourself.
Yeah.
But here's the mystery. In Japan, specifically in Tokyo, you have these institutional traders.
And these aren't small-time players. They're managing billions.
Billions of dollars. And they follow the exact same routine day in and day out for 10 years.
10 years. Think about that. The consistency is just incredible.
They stay profitable through crashes, through bull markets, through everything.
They don't burn out.
And they don't forget their rules. So the question we're asking today is, well, it's pretty simple.
What is their secret?
What is their secret? Why do we burn out and repeat our mistakes while they stay consistent for a decade or more?
And, the answer is probably going to surprise a lot of people listening.
How so?
Well, it's not because they have a higher IQ. And it isn't because they have better charts or, more monitors or faster computers.
So it's not about technology or genetics?
No. It's because they possess a specific Japanese secret routine.
To help us unpack this, I'm joined by our expert today, a veteran trader who specializes in trading psychology and sustainable performance.
It's a pleasure.
He's seen it all, from the frantic screaming trading floors to the quiet discipline of successful private offices. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to breaking this down with you.
Me too.
Because what we're talking about today, it isn't just about a trading strategy. It goes deeper.
Okay.
It's about biology. It's about how the human brain actually works. And maybe more importantly, how we can stop fighting against it.
That's a huge point. Stop fighting ourselves.
Yeah, that's the whole game.
So our mission for this deep dive is clear. We're going to break down this specific daily rhythm, the morning, the afternoon, and the evening routine.
Step by step.
We're going to show you how to turn from, well, a frantic gambler into a disciplined professional.
And we're going to look at the neuroscience behind why grinding harder, which is what we're all taught to do, right?
Right, hustle culture.
Exactly. Why that approach actually fails and why aligning with your biology is the path that succeeds.
I love that. Rhythm over brute force.
That's right. We need to move away from the idea of force and move toward the idea of rhythm.
Okay, so let's dive right into section 1. The core philosophy. Rhythm versus force.
Let's do it.
When I talk to traders, the most common complaint I hear is that they feel stupid. They say, I know what I'm supposed to do, but when the time comes, I just can't do it.
I hear that all the time, every single day, and it's genuinely heartbreaking to hear.
It is.
A trader takes a huge loss on a trade they absolutely knew they shouldn't have taken.
They saw all the red flags.
All of them. They feel terrible. They do the right thing. They open the journal. They write it all down.
They swear on everything they hold dear
that they will not do it again. But then the market opens tomorrow, the lights start flashing, the numbers are moving.
And 2 weeks later, they're right back in that same bad trade.
The same pattern.
So is it stupidity? I mean, are we just not smart enough to follow our own rules?
No, absolutely not. It is not stupidity. And honestly, it often isn't even a lack of discipline in the way we usually think about that word.
Okay, so if it's not discipline, what is it?
It's simply how human memory works. Our brains are designed, first and foremost, to be efficient.
Efficient meaning.
Lazy. You could say that. It wants to conserve energy. So without a specific routine to lock information in, the brain just prioritizes whatever feels most important in the moment.
And in trading, that's usually fear or greed.
Always. Primal emotions. And it just discards that logical, well-thought-out lesson you learned 2 weeks ago.
So the brain literally hits the delete button on the lesson.
It does.
Because it wasn't saved properly. It wasn't flagged as important.
Precisely. It thinks the lesson is just, background noise. Now, let's contrast that with the Japanese approach.
Right.
In Tokyo, you have these institutional traders. They are not trying to beat the market by working 20 hours a day.
Which is what we're told is the key to success.
It's the Western model. They don't trade harder than traders here. They align their entire day with how the brain is designed to lock in lessons.
I love the analogy that was in our source material about the soil. Can you walk us through that? It really clicked for me.
Oh, this is the best way to visualize it. I use this with all my clients. Imagine your mind is a garden.
Okay.
Most Western traders, let's call them the grinders, they try to plant seeds, and the seeds are their trades.
Right, the setups, the strategies.
Yes, and they try to plant them into a mind that is reactive, scattered, and full of stress.
Not a great environment for growth.
It's like trying to plant seeds in dry, cracked concrete. Nothing is going to grow.
You can have the best seeds in the world.
The best strategy, the best system, and it will not take root in a scattered mind. The soil is toxic.
So the environment is just as important as the seed itself.
It's more important.
And the Japanese approach. How do they handle the soil?
They focus on preparing the soil. Before the market even opens, before they look at a single chart, they're tilling the earth.
Metaphorically speaking.
Of course.
Yeah.
They're making sure their mind is fertile, it's calm, and it's ready to receive the information of the day.
So if you prepare the soil first...
The seed grows naturally. You don't have to force it. It just works.
That is such a powerful shift in perspective.
Yeah.
It really is. We're all obsessed with the seed, the strategy, the entry signal, the new indicator.
All the shiny objects.
And we completely ignore the soil, our own minds, our own biological state.
And that leads directly to the ultimate goal here. We want to help you move from just gathering experience.
Which is what most of us do.
Right, which is just taking random trades and getting beat up by the market day after day.
To building wisdom.
Yes. And wisdom is just experience that has been remembered, processed, and integrated.
I love that definition. Building wisdom. So let's get practical. How do we actually start preparing the soil?
Okay.
Let's move to section 2, the morning routine. The subtitle here is Preparing the Container.
Perfect. And to explain this, let's use 2 characters. It really helps to see the contrast.
Right.
On one hand, we have David. He's our typical Western trader.
I think we all know a David. Maybe we are David. I know I've been David many, many times in my career.
Oh, me too. I was David for many years, and it cost me a lot of money.
So what does David's morning look like?
Okay, so David's alarm goes off maybe 15 minutes before the market opens.
Cutting it close.
Very. He rolls out of bed, he's groggy, and what's the very first thing he does?
Grabs his phone.
Or coffee. He needs that jolt to his system to even feel human. Then he sits down at his desk and immediately opens 6 different charts.
And I bet his phone is right there, scrolling Twitter or checking the news headlines.
You know it. He is absolutely bombarding his brain with information before he's even fully awake.
So his mind is already scattered from the get-go.
Completely scattered. He's reacting to headlines, he's reacting to pre-market price movement, he's just jumping from one thing to the next.
He's starting the day on the back foot.
Totally. He's defensively reacting to the world instead of proactively setting his own state. It just sounds stressful listening to it, doesn't it?
It really does. My heart rate went up a little bit just thinking about it.
It is stressful. His cortisol is spiking, but for all the wrong reasons. It's a stress response, not a wake-up response.
Okay, so that's David. Now let's meet Toshi, our disciplined Japanese trader.
Toshi is completely different. He wakes up 90 minutes before the market opens.
An hour and a half. That's a lot of time.
It is, but, and this is a crucial part that I really want our listeners to hear, for the first hour of that time, he does not touch his charts.
An hour. Most traders I know would have a panic attack if they weren't glued to the screens an hour before the bell.
I know.
They feel like they're missing something critical. FOMO.
And that panic right there, that is exactly the problem. If you start the day in a state of panic, you will trade in a state of panic.
That makes perfect sense. So let's break down Toshi's routine step by step. It starts at 5:30 a.m. What's step 1?
Step 1 is light and movement.
So he wakes up, No phone.
Absolutely no phone, no news, no charts. He simply gets up, puts on some shoes, and steps outside.
Outside.
He goes for a 10-minute walk. Not a run, not a workout, just a walk.
So why is this walk so important? I mean, is it just for fitness?
It's not a workout, it's biology. It's a biohack, really.
Okay, explain that.
When you step outside and get natural sunlight in your eyes, even on a cloudy day, it sends a powerful signal to your brain.
What's the signal?
It tells a specific part of your brain to release cortisol. Now, we usually think of cortisol as the stress hormone, right?
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Well, in the morning, a cortisol spike is actually a good thing. It's the body's natural wake-up signal.
So it's like a clean, natural cup of coffee for the brain.
It's the best cup of coffee you can have, and it doesn't give you the jitters. It resets your circadian rhythm. It tells your brain, okay, the sleep cycle is over. It's time to be alert and focused.
And the movement part of that. The walking.
Just some gentle movement gets blood flowing to the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of your brain.
I see.
The sources we looked at for this, they mentioned studies confirming that even that gentle movement can increase memory recall by 20%.
20%.
And decision quality by 15%.
That is significant. I mean, a 15% improvement in your decision quality.
Think about that. In a game of inches like trading, 15% is the difference between a winning year and a losing year.
It's the difference between remembering yesterday's lesson or falling into the same trap.
That's your edge right there. Not some magic indicator. It's a walk.
So Toshi has had his walk. He's biologically awake. What's step 2?
Step 2 is stillness. Around 5:45 a.m., he gets back home. He sits down, maybe in a quiet chair, and he does nothing for just 5 minutes.
So this is meditation. Does he have to sit in a lotus position and chant?
No, it doesn't have to be some complex meditation. He's not trying to achieve nirvana here.
Just sitting.
Just sitting, breathing. The goal is simply to clear the noise from yesterday. In a lot of Japanese philosophy, this idea is key. Stillness before action creates clarity.
And clarity is what allows you to see the market for what it is.
Exactly. If your mind is full of static, worries about bills, excitement about some tweet you saw, frustration about the traffic yesterday, you can't see the market clearly.
You're projecting your own noise onto the charts.
That's it. You're trading your emotions, not the price action. Toshi clears the noise first so he can see what's actually there.
Okay, so he's calm, he's awake, his mind is clear. Now for step 3. Our source material calls this the secret weapon.
It is. This is the game changer. This, right here, is where the professionals separate themselves from the amateurs. The step is called active recall.
Active recall. What does that mean?
Before Toshi even thinks about looking at any new charts for today, he opens his trading journal from yesterday.
Okay, so he's reviewing.
But he doesn't just read it. That's passive. And passive reading is weak. It's too easy for the brain.
So what does he do?
He uses active recall. He might look at a chart of a trade he took yesterday, see the entry point, and then he closes his eyes.
Closes his eyes.
Yes. And he tries to vividly recall everything about that trade. The feelings, the decisions, what did he see on the chart that made him enter? What was the emotion he felt right before he clicked the mouse?
So he's reliving the trade in his mind.
Exactly. Why did it work? Or, maybe more importantly, why did it fail? He forces his brain to pull that information from memory.
Why is that active recalling so much more powerful than just reading about it?
Well, it comes down to basic neuroscience. When you force your brain to retrieve a piece of information without looking at it, you are physically strengthening the neural pathways associated with that memory.
Like lifting weights for your memory.
Right. That is the perfect analogy. Every time you struggle for a second and think, wait, what was the reason I entered that trade again?
Yeah.
You're digging that groove deeper into your brain.
So you're literally, physically changing the structure of your brain to remember the lesson.
Yes. You're building a superhighway for that specific piece of information, making it easier and faster to access next time.
Let's contrast that with David, our Western trader.
Yeah.
He's just scanning for new setups.
Right. David is hunting for the next opportunity. Toshi is reinforcing the last lesson.
The difference is huge.
It's everything. After a month, David has probably taken, say, 240 trades. But because he never actively recalled the lessons from them, he remembers almost nothing of substance.
His brain just discarded the data as unimportant.
It did. Meanwhile, Toshi might have only taken 12 trades in that same month. But he remembers every single detail, every nuance of every single one.
One is just gathering random experiences.
And the other is building concrete wisdom. I see that so clearly now.
And that brings us to the final step of the morning routine. Step 4, the one-sentence rule.
This is about simplicity and focus.
Just one sentence.
Just one. After his recall session, Toshi writes one single sentence that summarizes what he truly learned yesterday.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. It might be something like, pausing for 30 seconds before every entry prevents 80% of my bad trades.
That's very specific.
It has to be. And then, based on that, he sets one specific intention for today. Today, I will count to 30 before every single entry.
Why not set 5 goals for the day? I'll be patient, I'll be disciplined, I'll manage my risk.
Because the human brain cannot handle 10 goals when it's under pressure.
It's too much to process.
Way too much. When the market starts moving, when those candles are flashing green and red, your cognitive load is maxed out. If you give yourself 10 rules, you will follow none of them.
But if you have one single aim,
one specific actionable instruction, your brain can hold on to that like a life raft.
So the morning isn't about doing more work. It's not about more analysis.
No, it's about preparing the container.
I like that.
Think of your mind like a glass of water. If that glass is dirty and cracked, it doesn't matter how pure the water you pour into it is, the water being the market data.
It just gets ruined.
It gets ruined. The Japanese morning routine is all about cleaning the glass. Light, movement, stillness, recall, intention.
So that by the time Toshi actually sits down to take his first trade, his brain is primed. It's ready.
It's an unfair advantage, really.
It really highlights how we in the West just rush into things without checking our most important piece of equipment.
And our most important piece of equipment is our mind.
It's the most expensive, for sure.
You have to take care of it first.
So the market opens, the bell rings. We now move into section 3, the trading session.
Okay.
We're going to talk about something called the power of Ma, which I believe means space.
Yes, space or interval.
And let's bring back our characters to illustrate this. This time we have Sarah, the day trader, and Hiroshi, the Japanese trader.
Okay. So Sarah is very typical of what you see in the US and Europe.
I think I know her.
We all do. She sits at her desk from 9:00 a.m. to 4:00 p.m. She does not take breaks.
She thinks breaks are for lazy people.
Exactly. She has that mindset of, if I'm not looking at the chart, I might miss the big move.
That's the FOMO again, the fear of missing out. It's a very powerful driver.
It drives almost all bad decisions. But here's the inevitable result. By 2:00 p.m., what happens to Sarah?
She's exhausted, mentally fried.
Her willpower is completely drained. She starts making sloppy decisions. She gets into what we call revenge trading.
Trying to make back a loss from earlier in the day, but with a tired mind.
A terrible combination. She starts to forget why she even entered trades in the first place. Her plan goes out the window.
She's basically trading while intoxicated by fatigue.
That's a perfect way to put it. She's cognitively impaired.
Okay, so that's Sarah's brute force approach. What about Hiroshi?
Hiroshi trades in intervals. He uses a strategy that aligns perfectly with the brain's natural cycles of focus.
The ultradian rhythms.
Exactly. He'll trade for, say, 90 minutes. And then, no matter what, he takes a 15-minute break.
A hard stop. Even if the market is going crazy.
Especially if the market is going crazy.
And during that 15-minute break, what's he doing?
He is walking away from the screen.
He's not checking prices on his phone.
No phone, no checking prices on a mobile app, no scrolling financial Twitter. He completely disconnects.
Why is stepping away so critical? I mean, why not just browse the web for 15 minutes at your desk?
This is where the science gets really fascinating. When you make a decision or you learn something and then you immediately step away and let your mind rest, your hippocampus, which is the part of the brain responsible for memory, it actually replays that decision in the background at high speed.
So while you think you're doing nothing, your brain is actually doing its most important work of the day.
That's exactly right. It's processing, it's organizing the information, it's filing the lesson away into long-term storage.
And if you stay glued to the screen,
you block that process. You're just shoveling more noise, more data on top of the old noise. A tired mind chases the market.
But a rested mind selects the best trades.
You got it.
This brings us to that concept you mentioned earlier, Ma. Can you explain that a little more for our listeners?
Ma is a beautiful Japanese concept. It's a bit hard to translate directly, but it means negative space, or the space between.
Okay.
Think about music. If you have a song that is just a constant wall of sound with no pauses, no silence, it's just noise.
It's not music, it's unbearable.
Right. The silence between the notes is what gives the music its rhythm, its feeling, its beauty.
And how does that apply to trading?
In trading, the space between the trades is what creates the profit. It's in the waiting, the observation.
That's where the clarity comes from.
Yes. Western traders like Sarah, they fear the gap. They feel unproductive or uncomfortable if they're not in a position. They feel like they're not working.
While Japanese traders embrace the gap.
They embrace it. They understand that waiting is an active state. It's a position in itself.
A tired mind chases. A rested mind selects. I think I'm going to write that on a sticky note and put it on my monitor.
It's the golden rule of professional trading.
Let's touch on something else here that dramatically affects the trading session. Diet and biology.
Oh, this is so overlooked.
We think trading is just a mental game clicking a mouse.
We do, but the mind is part of the body. You can't separate them. Let's look at Sarah's lunch.
Okay.
She's busy. She doesn't want to leave her desk. She might miss a move, so she orders in some fast food.
A burger, fries, a big soda.
Exactly. And she eats it while staring at the charts.
It probably tastes good, but I'm guessing it's not the best fuel for high-performance decision-making.
It's a cognitive disaster for a trader because that kind of meal creates a massive spike in your blood sugar, which is then followed by a massive crash.
The dreaded 1 p.m. slump.
Precisely. By 1:00 p.m., she has brain fog. Her executive function, her ability to make rational decisions, effectively drops. She is literally trading while impaired, but she doesn't even realize it.
It's like trying to run a Formula One race car on cheap, dirty gasoline.
That's a great analogy. The engine's just going to sputter and fail.
And what about Hiroshi's lunch?
Hiroshi eats for clarity, not for comfort. He'll eat a light lunch, maybe some rice, fish, vegetables.
Clean fuel.
Clean fuel. And just as importantly, he eats it away from his desk.
Yeah.
He allows his brain to fully disconnect for a moment.
So he comes back with steady energy, not a sugar high.
Steady, clean energy for the rest of the afternoon session.
It really emphasizes that mental performance is built on a physical foundation.
They are one and the same. Focus is biology. It is not just willpower.
Say that again.
Focus is biology. You cannot will yourself to focus if your blood sugar is crashing and your cortisol levels are through the roof from stress. It's impossible.
That's a mic drop right there. Okay, so moving on to section 4. We've gone through the trading day, but how do we make sure these lessons actually stick?
This is the retention piece.
The retention strategy. Spaced repetition.
This directly addresses the flaw of learning something once and expecting it to stick. Let's go back to David, our Western trader.
Okay.
He learns a lesson. Maybe the market taught him, don't trade right after a high-impact news release.
A lesson he probably paid for with a losing trade.
Usually. But then, next week, the same news event comes up, and he forgets the lesson and loses money again.
Why does he forget so quickly? Is it just that he has a bad memory?
No, not at all. It's because the brain is ruthlessly efficient. If you don't use a piece of information repeatedly, the brain marks it as spam and eventually deletes it to save space.
So how do the Japanese traders counter this?
They use a well-known psychological principle called spaced repetition.
And how does that work in practice?
It's simple, but incredibly effective. They intentionally revisit their key lessons at timed intervals.
So not just every day.
No, the spacing is key. They might review the lesson on day 1, then they review it again on day 2, then they wait and review it on day 4, then again on day 7.
So the interval gets longer over time.
Exactly. It's like carving into stone.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the first time you review a lesson, it's like scratching a line in the sand. The wind can easily blow it away.
It's a weak memory.
Very weak. The second time, you dig a little deeper. By the 10th time, by spacing it out, you're carving that lesson into granite. It's permanent.
Can you give us a concrete example of how this looks for a trader like Toshi?
Sure. Let's take that rule. No trading for the first 15 minutes after a big news event.
A common rule.
A very common and very wise rule. Toshi has actively recalled this lesson in his journal over 100 times using spaced repetition. Now, for him, it's automatic.
He doesn't have to think about it anymore.
He doesn't have to use willpower to stop himself. His hand physically won't even let him click the mouse during that time because the neural pathway for that rule is so strong, so myelinated.
And that's what real discipline is. It's not a constant struggle.
It's a struggle at first, but real discipline built through this kind of repetition becomes effortless. It just becomes who you are.
So the expert insight here is that most of us think discipline is about fighting ourselves.
Yeah.
I really want to take this trade, but I will force myself not to.
Which is exhausting. You can't win that fight day after day. Your willpower is a finite resource.
But true discipline is just an ingrained automatic habit.
It's the path of least resistance.
Okay, so we've gone through the day. The market is closed. Most traders, myself included sometimes, think the work is done for the day.
And that's where they lose half the value of the day.
According to the Japanese method, we are now entering a critical window. This is section 5, the evening routine.
This is where the wisdom from the day is either locked in or lost forever.
That's a big statement.
It's true. The evening is when the brain decides what to keep from the day and what to delete. It's the transfer from short-term memory to long-term memory.
Let's look at David first. What does he do when the market closes at 4 p.m.?
David slams the laptop shut immediately. He's relieved the stress of the day is over.
I know that feeling.
He goes to watch Netflix, scrolls through Twitter, maybe has a beer or two. He just wants to disengage completely.
And what is his brain doing during this time?
His brain is hitting delete on almost all of the day's trading lessons.
Oh.
Because he didn't do anything to signal to his brain that those lessons were important, so the brain just treats them as random noise from the day and clears them out to make room for tomorrow.
But Toshi has a protocol for this. The 4:05 p.m. protocol.
Right. The market closes. Toshi does not leave the desk yet. He spends just 15 more minutes. That's it. 15 minutes to review.
And he uses 3 specific questions. I love these. They seem so simple, but they're incredibly deep. Let's go through them. What's the first question?
Question 1 is, what did I do well specifically?
And that word specifically is the key, isn't it?
It's everything. It's not enough to just say, oh, I traded well today. That's too vague. It's useless for learning.
So what's the specific answer?
He would write, I waited a full 45 seconds before entering the trade on the S&P, which allowed me to see the volume divergence that confirmed the move.
So he identifies the exact behavior that led to the good outcome.
And by doing that, he reinforces the good habit. He tells his brain, this behavior is valuable. Keep it.
Okay, and the second question.
Question 2. What mistake did I make that I never want to repeat?
Again, specifics are key here.
Absolutely. Not just I was emotional, too vague. Instead, I moved my stop loss down on my oil trade because of ego, and it cost me an extra $200.
That's a painful one to write down.
It is, but by writing it down immediately, he is confronting it head on. He's telling his brain, this was an error, do not file this away as acceptable behavior. He's flagging it for deletion.
And the third and final question.
Question 3 is my favorite of all. If I could only remember one thing from today, what would it be?
Wow. That forces prioritization, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because we can't remember everything. If you try to remember 10 lessons from one day, you end up remembering 0.
It's just too much noise.
This question forces Toshi to distill the entire 8-hour trading day down to one single golden nugget of wisdom.
Okay, so he's done his 15-minute review. The lessons are primed. Now let's talk about sleep, because you said earlier that sleep is the safe button.
It is the most underrated high-performance trading tool that exists. Deep sleep.
Explain the mechanism.
During the day, you're just gathering data, you're having experiences, but the actual processing, the learning, that happens at night while you sleep.
And it's the hippocampus again.
Yes. The hippocampus processes the important memories from the day during deep sleep, but only if it has been properly prepared.
And how do we prepare for deep sleep? Or maybe, how do we ruin it?
Well, let's look at Sarah's night. After a stressful day, she's on her phone in bed, doom scrolling on social media until midnight.
We hear about the blue light from screens all the time.
The blue light is a big part of it, yes. It absolutely destroys your body's production of melatonin, which is the hormone that allows you to get into deep sleep.
But it's more than just the light, isn't it?
It is. It's the information overload. She is feeding her brain junk food information right before the save cycle begins.
So her brain spends the night trying to process angry tweets and Instagram posts.
Instead of her valuable trading lessons from the day, the lessons get lost in the noise.
And what does Toshi do?
Toshi has a screen cutoff time. All screens, phone, tablet, TV are turned off 60 minutes before he plans to go to sleep.
He creates a buffer zone.
A buffer zone, exactly. He'll dim the lights in his house, maybe read a physical book, do some light stretching, gentle activity. He is signaling to his body and brain, the day is done, it is time to save the files.
There's another Japanese concept here that fits perfectly. Kaizen. Continuous improvement. How does that play into the evening routine?
Right before bed, maybe after he's read a chapter of his book, Toshi sets one micro goal for the next day.
A micro goal, what does that look like?
It's something incredibly small and specific, not a big, vague goal like, I will be more disciplined tomorrow, or I will make more money.
Those are just wishes.
They're wishes. A micro goal is, tomorrow on my first trade, I will pause for 10 seconds before I click the mouse.
That's it.
That's it. It's specific, it's actionable, and it's so small that it's almost impossible to fail. Specificity wins.
We're nearing the end of our deep dive here. Let's move to our final section, section 6. Implementation.
Let's bring it all together.
We've talked about the ma of the trading day, but there's
Yeah.
also a ma of the evening.
Yes, that buffer zone we talked about. Just 10 minutes of stillness before bed. It bridges that gap between the stimulation of the day and the restoration of sleep.
So the final verdict here. Japanese traders aren't superhuman. They're not wizards.
Not at all. They are human beings with the same brains, the same emotions as you and me.
They just have a better system,
A better rhythm.
a much better rhythm. The morning is aligned, the afternoon is structured, the evening is sealed, and the night is restorative. It's a full cycle.
It seems so simple when you lay it all out like that, but it is a complete 180-degree shift from the hustle culture we're also used to.
It is. We are taught in the West that success comes from suffering, from grinding, from more hours, more screens, staring at charts until our eyes bleed,
The Japanese method seems to teach that success comes from harmony.
from working with your biology, not constantly fighting against it.
I want to issue a call to action to our listeners right now because we've covered a lot of ground. The 10-minute walk, the journaling, the food, the breaks, the sleep hygiene. It can feel really overwhelming to try and change everything at once.
Please, whatever you do not try to implement this entire routine perfectly tomorrow.
Why not? You will fail, and then you'll feel bad and you'll quit. That is not the way of Kaizen, of continuous improvement.
So what should they do? Where's the best place to start?
Pick one small thing. Just one.
That's it?
That's it. Maybe for you, it's the 10-minute morning walk. Just commit to that for a week. Get that sunlight in your eyes.
Or maybe it's the evening review.
Right. Or maybe it's just the 15-minute evening review with the 3 magic questions. Start small. Build one habit. Once it's automatic, add another.
The future doesn't belong to those who trade harder, but those who trade smarter.
That is the absolute truth of this business.
As we wrap up this deep dive, let's just summarize the journey we've been on together.
Okay.
We started with David, the scattered reactive trader who is constantly repeating his own mistakes and feels stuck.
And we looked at Toshi, the rhythmic, disciplined trader who consciously and consistently builds wisdom over time.
We saw that trading is a mental game, we all know that, but that mental game is played with a biological engine.
And if you don't take care of that engine, the sleep, the food, the light, the rest, the game is lost before you even sit down at the desk.
And I want to leave you, our listener, with a final provocative thought to mull over.
Okay.
Every single time you've thought to yourself, I just can't stay disciplined, or maybe I'm just not cut out for this, you were likely wrong. It probably wasn't you, it was your method.
Your process was flawed.
So the question is, what happens to your P&L statement? What happens to your mental health if you stop fighting your own biology and you actually start working with it?
What happens if you stop trying to force the market and you start creating the space for good trades to come to you?
That is the question that can change careers.
It really can.
Now, before we sign off, I must read a very important disclaimer. Please listen carefully.
Please do.
Content in this video and deep dive is for sharing knowledge and personal experience only. It's not investment advice.
We are not financial advisors.
Financial investment always involves risk. Viewers need to research carefully and take full responsibility for their own decisions.
Absolutely. Always do your own due diligence. Your capital is your responsibility.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey today. I am your host from Handsome Trader, and I want to sincerely thank our expert guest for sharing this incredible wisdom with us.
It was my absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And to our audience, remember to press like, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Handsome Trader with all your heart. We really do appreciate you.
We do. Thank you.
Until next time, find your rhythm. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.